I'm Corrie Hill, and the business is named after me because my name written down is Mrs. C. Hill. So the business is called Mrs. Chills, which works perfectly.
It
Um,
does.
so Mrs. Chills Ice Cream Parlour, and I'm the only ice cream parlour in Bewdley. Originally, I was a primary school teacher, and I taught for 15 years in inner city Birmingham schools. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. And I burnt out before I was 40.
Yeah.
And I moved to this beautiful little town by the river called Bewdley. And there was an ice cream parlour here. And I absolutely love ice cream. It's my thing. I have always had a dream from as long as I can remember of one day owning an ice cream parlour by the river.
Yeah.
And this one was here. And within a few months of us moving here, we heard through the grapevine that it was coming up for sale, and I was desperately looking to leave teaching. Thought, oh my goodness, I wonder if this is it. I wonder if I can, if I can get the money together and I can do it. And we managed to do it. And I bought the ice cream parlour, left teaching, and never looked back. Best thing I've ever done.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's like a really positive kind of story.
Yeah.
And like, especially if you kind of always dreamed about it as well. So like, what do you think your biggest achievement has been? Do you think just getting it off the ground, or is there anything else that you're proud of?
So it was already established when I took it over. It'd been here for about 10 years, I believe, when I took it on. But it was doing okay, but it needed some work. I could see, where I could take the business, and I could see what improvements I could make. So my biggest achievements, I think, have been the growth of the business.
Yeah.
I've really increased the take-ins. I've gone from having one member of staff working with me to there's now 8 of us.
Okay.
Um, and we work flat out. If the shop was bigger, I'd actually need more staff, but we just
Yeah.
physically can't fit any more staff in the shop. So yeah, I think that's my biggest achievement. It's just growing the business, and just seeing it become, a real part of the community, really. A big part of Bewdley is coming to Bewdley and getting an ice cream.
Amazing. And then on the other hand, what do you think your biggest struggle has been so far?
Struggles, it's always going to be the weather in my line of
Oh
work.
yeah.
I am completely in the hands of the elements. So if it's a horribly cold day, if it's snowing, my take-ins are going to be next to nothing. So it's very much it's all or nothing. I am queues up the road 40 deep all day long, or
Yeah.
there's nobody.
Nothing.
And I might be
Yeah.
five people all day. So that's
What
my
do
struggle, trying
you
to get that balance.
What do you do in the winter? Do you close in the winter, or do you stay open? Yeah, I was gonna say.
The first couple of years, I thought I'm gonna open. I need the business closed,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, I'm gonna try and stay open and diversify. So I
Yeah.
tried doing some hot foods. I thought, well, I'll do jacket potatoes. I bought a jacket potato oven. I'll do soups. I'll do that sort of thing. But people just couldn't make that connection between it being an ice cream parlour in the summer and then jacket
Yeah.
potatoes and soup in the winter. And there's lots of cafes in Bewdley, so I was stepping on the toes of other people, really. And so I tried it. I tried all the coffees. I tried the hot desserts. But people say, oh, I'll eat ice cream all year round. But the truth of the matter is they don't. If it's
Yeah, probably not if it's
freezing cold
snowing.
day, people don't want to leave their homes to venture out to go and buy an ice cream. So I realised after the first year that it wasn't really working.
Yeah.
Tried a few different things the second year and closed earlier. And then the third year, I just realised that come end of October, it's time to close up shop, hibernate, have a holiday, and start
Yeah.
again next year.
Come back refreshed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So my next question is a little bit about like the cost of living crisis. Has that affected your business at all, or like the energy, the energy crisis? Has that affected it at all? Have you had to kind of like alter how you do things, or kind of scale back like your put your prices up or anything like that?
Yeah, a bit of everything really.
Yeah.
In terms of the energy crisis, I mean, my business is freezers. I've got, huge freezers, a
Hmm.
huge soft serve machine, a flush machine. I've got a back room full of freezers. So, when the prices went up, it really, really hit me hard. My prices actually
Yeah.
trebled per month,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was a panic. Um, so what I had to do, because I just couldn't keep paying those prices out. And also, cost of living crisis, I appreciate that ice cream's a luxury item. People
Yeah.
have a choice. It's a treat. It's not going to be a necessity. They need to buy their staples first, and then if they've got any money left over, then they buy treats. So I was very conscious about, if I put my prices up, I could be pricing myself out of that, extra treat market, really. So I turned off a couple of my freezers in the stock room, and increased my delivery days so that I wasn't storing stock. I was pretty much using and then replacing as fast as I could. So I was saving some money with electricity there. I closed over the winter completely, whereas previously I'd been open. So I was then having to keep my stock to a certain level. In previous years, I'd kept stock for when I reopened in February, March time, like unopened ice cream, because I think that's fine to keep. But last year I decided I'd run my stock completely down and turn my freezers off, because it just wasn't viable to keep freezers going when I didn't have any money coming in. And then other things, energy saving light bulbs, I replaced all of those. I put timers on some of the electrical equipment that needs to be on at certain times, whereas I used to come in early, turn stuff on, go to the cash and carry, come back 2 or 3 hours later when the machine, like the coffee machine, had heated up by that time. Whereas now I don't need to do that. I can put it on a timer, because it only takes 15 minutes before I open the business. And then I'm saving 2 or 3 hours a day's worth of electricity then on some big drawer machinery, appliances.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, they're really practical tips, yeah. So it's like you kind of like really thought about how you can save money and like make the most of everything. So that's really good.
Even my opening hours, I was opening quite early on the weekend, sort of 10 a.m. But I wasn't seeing people until about 11.
Yeah.
So, I realised then, looking at the trends, people weren't buying ice cream before 11 o'clock. So now we open at either 10:30 or 11. And just that half an hour a day adds up over a whole season, of 7, 8, 9 months.
Exactly. So, and like, it's good you're kind of like taking notice of your customers and like their habits, and then like adapting to be like for them. So that's really, really good. Cool. So like when you were first starting out, did you think there was enough information out there for you to practically set up a business, or did you kind of feel a bit stressed that there wasn't enough help for business owners out there?
I didn't have a clue. I'd come from being a primary school teacher. I was a senior leader. To then suddenly, day one, here's the business, here's the keys, off you go. And thinking, oh my God, what do I do? So, I trawled the internet, I was on Google, I was looking at forums, I joined networking groups, I bought books, I got books from the library, the Dummy's Guide to Running a Small Business, anything I could possibly read. But again, you haven't got the time for that either, because, you're working around the clock trying to do as much as you can yourself to save money and learn on the job. You haven't got time to do all the research. So definitely not enough information out there.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's kind of a common theme when I'm speaking to small business owners. They all kind of say there's not enough like practical information about, like taxes or, how to buy a premises, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was thinking, setting my prices. How do I set my prices? What do it?
Because you don't want to do them too high, but you don't want to do them too low either. So it's like kind of making that decision and seeing if it works. But I totally agree.
I was looking at competitors' prices to begin with, then I wasn't taking into account, that some of my products were of a better quality, for instance, they were more expensive to me. So understanding the profit margins and what I should be making, all that sort of thing, doing my accounts. It was just a minefield, absolute minefield. I'm still learning now, every day is a school day.
So out of interest, like what's your favourite flavour that you sell, or what's your customer's favourite, do you think?
Oh, there's massive differences. Mine is salted caramel, out and out. But it's quite funny. We all have a bit of a joke. When somebody walks in, you can tell by the customer, not what flavour they're going to order. So the grandparents are rum amazing.
Or definitely.
Grandparents. The kids are always a bubble gum. The mums like a berry cherry or a blackcurrant in clotted cream or a heavenly honeycomb. It depends on the customer, on the age, And then we've got the classic Mr. Whippy. You know, you cannot beat the traditional soft serve with a flake, a 99.
Yeah, that's like the original, like when you think of ice cream, that's what you think of, isn't it? So like, how do you create a connection with your customers, do you think? Do you see the same people coming in regularly, or do you kind of like get to know them? Like, how do you kind of make like a good connection with them?
We've built quite a loyal customer base now, so we've got regulars. You know, it's great that, you know, we see them, you know, weekly at least. And it's nice because I've seen the children start school. I've been there when they've celebrated anniversaries and they've come in for special events, or, you know, the child's had a bad day at school, you know, and I've got a sign up in the shop that, you know, everything is better. Life is better with ice cream, it says. You know, so they come in and I say, come on, get a photo under the sign, you know, make them smile. So, and I get to know dietary requirements for some of my customers. I've got a lot of celiac customers. I've got a lot of dairy-free customers, and they know and trust me that I know my product inside out, and, you know, they're happy that they can come in and it's safe for them to get what they need, because I understand about, you know, what restrictions they've got in their diet. But other ways we connect, I've got a policy of every customer is greeted with a beaming smile. They come in, you know, it's hello, it's a welcome, you know, we tell them what's available, and just to make somebody feel, you know, welcome and appreciated for spending their money in my business is a big part of what I want to put across. And that, you know, and that's reflected, you know, people say to me, you know, it's just so nice to come in and you're always smiling, it's a happy place, and people come in, so it's nice.
Yeah, definitely. And like when you said earlier about community, it seems that it's a real community feel like within the shop, and you're kind of like getting to know people, people know you personally, and it's like a nice feeling, it seems like. So that's really good.
Yeah, I ask about my family now, I ask about their, you know, we've got to know each other over the years, and you know, even like new customers, you know, I see them again, so I know we're doing something right because they become repeat customers.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's a really like rewarding part of running a business, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely.
Kind of leads me on to my next question is like, what's your favourite part about running your business?
I think being my own boss, and just being able to make people happy. You know, it's people come in and ice cream is like, oh wow, brilliant ice cream, you know, and being able to suggest flavours and just make someone's day really with you know, choosing that flavour and giving them that little highlight of their day. So,
Amazing. And then you mentioned your staff. So like, how do you keep them motivated? Like, it sounds like you guys don't need much motivating anyway, because it's like quite a positive place to work. But if your staff is like having an off day, or like, how do you kind of motivate the team?
I've got a brilliant team. I'm really lucky. I have got the best team. I'm lucky that I tend to have staff in what I'd say was cycles. So they start after their GCSEs. I'm on my second cycle of staff now. They start after their GCSEs, and then they stay throughout their A-levels. They go off to university. They come back each summer. So I tend to have them for 4 to 5 years, and the fact that they return year on year goes to show me that you know, they like working here. But in terms of keeping them motivated when it gets busy, my goodness, does it get busy? It is incredible here. It is flat out. We're like an octopus, just as but freebies always go down well. They always get an ice cream. Every shift they work, they get free milkshakes, free drinks. But something that I always make a real point of is thanking them. So after every shift that they do, I individually will thank them for what they've done and let them know how much I appreciate them. Because I've worked in jobs before where it's been a thankless task, really. You've given your all, you know, for somebody else, and I appreciate it's my business. They're just getting paid their wages, you know. I'm the business owner, so they're doing it all for me. But just to make sure that they know that I appreciate them and I thank them, I think that goes a long way, you know, to make them feel good about themselves and knowing they've done a good job. That's always nice, isn't it, when someone says well done to you?
Yeah, exactly. And if they're coming back, like you said, you know, year after year, then you must be they must have like a special bond with the company and with you, and just like feel that they want to come back again.
I'm there to give the relationship advice. I'm there to give the, you know, when there's tears over, you know, fallouts with mom and all this. So
It's
yeah,
like another family, I guess. That's what it
I am.
sounds
I'm
like
like
anyway.
an extra mom.
Yeah, that's lovely. So like, what are you most excited about in the future? Do you have any plans to, I don't know, like come up with new flavors or expand, or do you have any plans to kind of like change the business in any way?
Each year I try and introduce something new, so a new product, the farm making new flavours each year. So
Yeah.
we always have something brand new to start the season with. In terms of expanding, when I first took on the business, I tried a few things. I bought a 1920s ice cream tricycle, and I
Awesome.
started off
Wow.
doing some weddings
Yeah.
alongside running the shop. And then also at the same time, the cafe right next door, which we share a door, the cafe next door came up for sale, and I took that on. But I did that for a couple of years. COVID hit, and
Yeah.
it was impossible to run the cafe when I could only have 6 people at the most in there,
Yeah.
and so I had to let that go in the end. But I've tried things like that. I tried the wedding tricycle, but it detracted from Mrs. Chill's ice cream parlour, and
Yeah.
so I realised that having to spread myself so thin doing the cafe, doing the ice cream trike, and running the ice
Yeah.
cream parlour, I was so heavily reliant on other people to
Yeah.
help that it was being diluted in the ice cream parlour. So I decided to sell the bike, sell the cafe, and just concentrate on the ice cream parlour. And by
Yeah.
doing that, it has absolutely flown over the last 4 years, I'd say, since COVID. It's
Yeah.
absolutely flown. And I think that's because I could put all my energy into one
Yeah.
place. Yes,
Okay.
in
Yeah.
terms of expanding, no, I've tried it, but I'm always looking at what's next in terms of
Yeah.
and flavours and trends. I'm always looking ahead.
Yeah, that's good because it's like I mean, some businesses benefit from expanding, but some, if you were to expand and open more like premises or whatever, it wouldn't be as personal and it wouldn't be as special, I guess, if there was like multiple shops, you know. So yeah, no, that's a really
I
nice
think the big
answer.
part of Mrs. Chills is the fact that I am Mrs. Chills, and
Yeah,
I need to be here as much as I possibly can.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like in regards to like your marketing and stuff, do you I'm guessing a lot of it is word of mouth because you're very like heavily involved in the community, but do you use social media a lot? Do you use like email marketing at all? What
Social
do you think
media,
is, yeah, social
social
media?
media, TikTok. TikTok's quite big for us.
Yeah.
And that's another motivator for my staff because I haven't got a clue, to be honest, about TikTok, but they are really into it. So they create TikToks, and they love doing that. So that's good fun for them to watch the
Yeah.
account grow. I employ someone to do my social media in terms of Instagram and Facebook. He
Yeah.
takes some photos, writes all the posts for me. So that's new over the last almost 12 months.
Yeah.
Um, but I've got the most incredible location. So I've got a lot of natural footfall, but
Yeah.
also word of mouth is now, really exploded for me. People look for me on Google, and I can see on the analytics, that this many people have looked for directions now, and that's
Yeah.
through the roof. That's really exploded. So when people say, "We found you, we've been looking for you, we've heard about you," so that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's a nice mix as well, like from the social media aspect and then with like, the word of mouth and people like I guess kind of like going through families because you said you've seen the kids growing up and stuff
Yeah.
like that, probably telling their friends and then like the mums come in but yeah, that's really nice. Um, so like if you could give somebody a piece of advice if they were starting up their own business, what would you say to them, do you think?
Research. Do as
Mm-hmm.
much research as you possibly can. Research into your area, research into your competitors,
Yeah.
research into your product, research into trends. What people into. Ask people. What in terms of my business, it's ice cream and flavors and desserts. What's out there. Scroll through social media, look at TikTok and see what's trending at the moment. And keep ahead, or keep at least in line with what people want, because if you don't, you're going to miss out.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, if you could go back to the start of your business journey, would you change anything, or are you happy with how you did everything, do you think?
I think I'm happy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I'd change anything because I think I've learned. So everything that I've done has helped me move forward. So whether it was the right decision, or not, I've tried it, and I know, whether it was worth doing or not. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm happy. Yeah, yeah, just keep
Cool.
keep moving forward.